Good morning, gardening friends. I'm Lark, and I'm in Wisconsin, Zone 5. And today is Tuesday. Come take a walk with me. Tea Time Tuesday. Just to see my flowers. See what's blooming this week. We're in the front yard today. Potentellas. Boy, those are good bushes. Good bang for your buck. Color all the time, along with the spirea. Gold flame spirea we use. Where is gold flame? Right here. He's trimmed them back a little and they'll get new growth. You can see the new growth has a more of a bronzy color on it. And a spreading juniper. What's the name of it? Blue carpet. With my cranes grazing in the stream of blue carpets. That's what that's supposed to simulate, water. My pots, inexpensive. I bought the coralline, the burgundy. Whoop. Okay. But what I used as a filler is the perilla, Lance Corporal, that's back in my shade garden. Well, there it is more of a lime green in shade. Up here it is the green, but I like the burgundy pattern in the green leaf. I thought my PG hydrangea was not going to get blooms, but it's setting them really late. So we will have flowers. And we have to stake this. The winds took it and it gets wet in here. So now we have to stake it this way. We had to stake it towards the house before. Global U's. Boy, those come back after a severe winter. I mean, they'll have a hole like this, but if you're patient, they will fill in. Maybe we'll walk the veggie garden at the end. Limbing up the blue spruce. So now we got to make a screen. So we're using the Annabelle hydrangeas, and if you've been to one of my other tours, you have seen the screens I am making with the Annabelle. It grows fast, 3 years, and you have a full screen. Rosy Glow Diablo. No. Rosy Glow 9 bark. Catmint that needs cutting back, but my honeybees just love it. They really do. And we all know how the honeybees are not too the population's down. And a viburnum. And a lot of Hopi amaranth and lots of dill. Okay. And my birdies. So pretty. Okay. Now I'll show you yucky. I transplanted in all that heat some of the Purple Palace coral bells. Nice size root I got in there, so they'll be fine. I've been watering them. And now that we limbed up the pine, they'll get a little more light, but mostly shade. So a lot of purple Pallas corabels. Sand cherry, more burgundy. You can see the color theme here. I don't like planting a lot of annuals, so I get my color from foliage. Crimson King. Maple. It's doing well. Oh, is that sky pretty? Fluffy clouds. It's beautiful. About 72 degrees today. Low humidity. Lots of monarchs this year. So I do have marigolds in there. They're going to give me very late color. But that's when you need it, in fall, and the orange will look pretty. And then the sedums will be setting their color. They're setting bud already. Russian sage for color now. Remember, behind the Russian sage is catmint that was in early spring. So trying to play with perennials that have color all the time. So there's the catmint coming back again. And when it starts setting bloom, I'll probably be cutting down this Russian sage. And then in the center is sunflowers and the big sunflower, yellow. And then down on the bottom is the Mexican sunflower. That really got a late start because we were so cold in spring. So trying to have color here all the time, either with leaf color or texture from the pines, texture from the leaves. Larkspur. And then when that starts drying up, I have some salvias. They're blue salvias in there with more sunflower and cannas. So again, color with foliage and then a few annuals. Those are all reseeds in there. Everything except the cannas, and those I save in a paper bag. So there's some 2-year-old Annabelles. And then I'll show you 3-year-old Annabelles. Okay. Now here, I have a climbing rose, William Baffin, totally ugly. But I use it for a trellis. And here I use mostly perennials. Spiderwort will be coming out soon. There's some asters in there, the corabels, gloriosa daisies, and some great blue lobelia. So dashes of color without planting annuals. First time I'm using red instead of blue, lantana. And it's probably because I want it drought tolerant. I just bought some bloom booster today, fertilizer, because you know I don't buy fertilizer. Not too often. But this annual here, in order to get better blooms, they told me I have to fertilize. So I bought some bloom booster. We'll see if it works. Just a second here. I got to do the gate so it doesn't bang. Global ewes that are 24 years old. He likes grooming them. Yin and yang. That's what makes our marriage work, I think. Hyacinth bean vine. Just, I think there's one plant in there. Gives me a little color, texture. I don't know. It was a reseed. It reseeded in the stones, and I put it in the pot that sunk there. Corydalus, or Corydalis. More potentillas in my pots. Japanese beetles aren't as bad as past years. They're making yucky holes, but still pretty foliage. Now those Annabelles are 3 years old, I do believe. Oh, and they're giving us a nice screen. And they're supported. I have some old real estate signs with the sign taken off and just using the wire. Whoops. Yes, those are succulents in the pot. I trimmed my fire sticks cactus or succulent and just stuck them in the ground. And then I can give them away when fall comes with a flapjack succulent. So the red on the leaf, I think, looks pretty with the red of the canna. And then just some alyssum that reseeded, and some more fire sticks that I'm letting weep because I think I might be putting it in a hanging basket. The weight of it makes it weep. And then if you don't want it to weep like my fire sticks tree, then you would just keep pruning it so the stem gets stronger. Asters are setting flower already, and goldenrod. And this daylily here is so pretty. Maybe next week it'll be more drama. Right now, there's a couple blooms on it. I'll show you the bloom. And I call it a Japanese type. I don't know the name of it, but it curls, spidery looking. I bet if you Google spider daylilies, that's the kind you'd get. Something like that. But the color again, the burgundy in there. In the morning, there's a little light on here, the prettiest, but it is overcast right now. Much appreciated. Spiderwort that needs to come out. You see my theme of burgundy, right? And that's why I like perilla so much. Is I get foliage that covers up my weeds. Sweet autumn climbing up this dying Austrian, and I'm keeping it from going too high because I want the flowers low this year, so it's growing on itself. A pass along daylily from a neighbor of mine in the 50s. 1957 about, I'd say. And it's fragrant. white phlox that was pruned by the deer. So it's only about 3 foot high. That's okay. They didn't eat my hostas, and that's a good thing. Trumpet vine. Oh, the hummingbirds are loving those. So pretty. And aggressive, you guys, so beware. Do not plant this up next to your house or close to your house. It suckers a lot. Remember the barberries that I pruned? Setting on new foliage, and then it color is more burgundy. Pretty phlox that's starting to bloom now is this fuchsia colored one. Strong daylily. That stem, the wind really, really doesn't take it. Believe me, all of you who have a very tidy garden, if you look back in my old videos, maybe 10 years ago, you'll see that I was a tidy gardener. It was always this big, but there was a spot for everything and a place for everything, and everything in its place. Not anymore. Black-eyed Susans. It's nice when you plant daylilies if you remember to get some early, mid, and late season blooming daylilies, especially since they only bloom a day. These here are not even close to opening yet. These are my latest ones, I think. And then for drama in the garden, if you want height, Joe Pye, Gateway. And again, I like the dark colored stem. And I like the drama of the height. Old, reliable purple cone flower. Asters, later color. Don't forget your late color when you're designing your garden. If you're going to buy a summer perennial, buy a spring and a fall for the same, I'd say, 4-foot square area. That way you'll always have color in your garden. A lot of shade down here, and this little one I put in the shade because it's so light and peachy color. And you see that lime green center in there? At least it's lime green with my eye. I don't know if on the camera it is, but then it goes with this lady's mantle nicely. See, my monkshood is blooming back there behind the hosta, but the hard rains and wind really knocked it down. I don't think that the Ligularia the rocket was in full bloom last week. Now it's in full bloom, and it blooms from the bottom to the top. So you get a little longer color. But then that means it sets seed too. You know, it'll set seed on the bottom first while the top is still flowering. And some of you might like that. I do, because there's plenty of area down here for it to spread. It mostly spreads by root though. Okay. We'll go back here a little because I want to show you Ligularia Orthello with the burgundy underside. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen, so forgive me if this isn't centered. And a sedge. There I am. Isn't that sunlight, that dappled sunlight, pretty on the ferns down in the shade? Roxanne, if you're watching this, I'm missing you. Roxanne is my garden helper. And she had a family thing she had to take care of out of state, so I don't have her for a while. And I miss her. Oh, those hostas. Doesn't that gold light up so pretty? That sunlight coming in on an angle. My iron butterflies. All that'll be sold. Masterwort. Stilby. Persicaria. And blue angels down there. It's nice how a lot of perennials will bloom in part shade. In fact, the color will look better in part shade. Blackberry lily. Isn't that a delicate flower? So pretty. Coronation Gold, Yarrow. Look at that bee in there. He is just loving it. Pretty little stripe in that one. This year I didn't even take time to support a lot of my tall perennials. Just letting them support themselves, one another. Then if I cut one down, if I cut a perennial down, I have to be careful in case... Let me get out of here, guys. Some cosmos. They're going to be orange ones. Here's some more of these daylilies that'll look, that Japanese curly one. I want to show you another little daylily here. I forgot. Wonder if it's the same one, I think maybe, of the one I have down by the bowling ball. Then I have this big grass in here. You see this? It pulls pretty easy. Oh, I got it. Okay. Tiger lilies. Next week they'll be popping orange, tall orange. And I transplanted this one, little one, 3 groups of them to coordinate with this and the perilla. Bye-bye, my friends, and thank you for visiting me.